We're looking at Firegold Spirea. This has got a nice yellow foliage early on in the spring. Let's take a look at some early comments late winter. This is one of the Spireas that you have to wait an entire season for the flower bud to develop, so we are not going to prune this spring. And it's got enough space to keep filling out in here, so we're going to let it do its thing, but eventually it's going to start encroaching on this techneto, and we may have to cut it back. We are going to leave this. Should we have to do some pruning, what you can do or start doing is reaching in and grabbing some of the main canes. That reduces the overall height. For instance, we might take 3, 5, or 7 of the overall older canes and reduce it that way. If you look at some of these photos from past, we used to have a rabbit problem, and they would come in and they would prune this thing back almost to the ground, or at least maybe 12 inches tall every year. But it was kind of nice because they pruned it up for free. Hey, they got some nutrition. And that new growth, such a bright yellow, it was gorgeous. Just had to sacrifice the flower. Firegold Spirea, not real common, but it's a tough, durable shrub. I really like it in this location, and I'm a fan of having yellow here and there throughout the landscape. Now this is a nice Spirea, but it's gonna need some space. You can see how big it's getting, at least 6 feet by 6 feet right now. One of the drawbacks, we're losing that yellow color on the older growth. It's kind of going back into that green, and the spent flower heads. Kind of a blackish, not attractive at all. That'll desiccate off a little bit, but it's not real showy. I'm tending to think I might start just pruning this back every spring, down to about 18 inches, and go after that golden yellow color. Even though I like the white flower we looked at there, that golden yellow color is just more attractive to me. So we'll see. We'll let this thing finish out the season, maybe give it one more bloom period. But after that, I have a feeling just because of the size it's getting and is starting to crowd in with this techneto arborvitae, we'll go ahead and we'll start treating this as a back and forth shrub every year. On the Goldmound Spirea, I usually like to do a light shearing in late winter or early spring before they leaf out, and then just leave them alone for the rest of the year. But you can certainly give them a second shearing mid-season to get that nice tight globe shape. Let's take a quick look at the first pruning. The Goldmound Spirea is a real popular plant. It's got a beautiful golden yellow spring color, has some red tints in it early on, nice pink flower. This one we shear back every spring to about the same height, at about 12 inches, and it comes out to about 2 feet. If you're just doing the tender growth each season, this is a pretty quick project. Okay, pretty quick. We put that in fast motion for you, but that's less than 60 seconds. By shearing this back now, midsummer, it's going to encourage additional new growth. That'll put on some new flowers that we'll see probably getting into September, into October if we don't get any hard freezes. So let's go ahead and give this a quick shearing. And there we go, a more formal look for sure. Very neat in appearance and not as shaggy. And the bonus here is going to be that additional repeat bloom with pink flowers in the fall. And here we've got double play Big Bang Spirea. This is a nice plant. I go back and forth on whether or not I want to shear it each season. I typically do a light shearing just to keep it to shape, but I'm letting it inch higher and higher. This is a Spirea that can get up around that 3, maybe 4 feet, but is holding beautifully at this 3-foot level. It's got a nice spent flower head. I find it attractive in the winter. It's not like the Firegold Spirea where it gets kind of a black spent flower head. So this is a great shrub, rigid stem, very hardy. We're starting to see some of that pink bloom in the fall here. It's mid-August, so you get some repeat bloom. Like the Goldmound Spirea, you can shear this mid-season, trigger that new growth, and you'll get a nice little show again of pink into the fall. Here's another little double play Spirea here. Kept this one a little bit shorter. As you can see by the photos here, we sheared it back. It's an easy process. Just take care of it every spring before it leaves out. March, April are great months. So there you have it, 3 of the golden yellow Spireas you can grow in your garden. We've got the Firegold Spirea, the Goldmound Spirea, and the double play Big Bang Spirea. I hope you enjoyed this garden hike. We'll see you again next video.